past papers.
Be doing some more past papers.
So now I'm going to catch up with my A-levels and hope for the best.
There's only 3 exams before the half term, and it's maths and physics, which is more ideal than the chemistry ones after.
Every single paper 1 needs to be done, every single paper 2 needs to be done, ideally twice, and every single paper 3 needs to be done as well.
Those were just some of the many people that I managed to interview when I went to the British Physics Olympiad Annual Awards ceremony. So this was held bang in the centre of London at a fantastic location at the Royal Society, just next to where the new Banksy statue had just been unveiled. And it was a chance for students and parents and teachers to all come together to celebrate the achievements of different students in the different competitions. So this included an awards ceremony where the students who got the highest marks in the various competitions went up on stage to receive their prize. There was the opportunity to meet various people in the physics community and also have a fantastic lecture all about alien life by Dr. Carly Howard. And I've linked to that beneath this video if you want to watch the full thing. So it really was a wonderful occasion for people to celebrate all that's happened in both the British Physics Olympiad and also the Astronomy and Astrophysics Olympiad. And it shows that these aren't just extra tests that people do in school, but it's something that can lead on to bigger and better things. Okay, so how have you found the Olympiad process so far?
Really humbling, really challenging.
Yeah.
But really fun because you get to learn loads and loads of physics that you won't get to learn in school at all. Taking things way beyond the syllabus, so like special relativity and other things like that, thermodynamics, all the really cool stuff that you don't get to learn in school, you get to learn way at a way higher level. So.
And how are you going to prepare for your exams, your A-level exams coming up?
You know, I don't really know myself, but I'm going to do loads of past papers, focus on topics that I'm weak at, and that's kind of it, really. I don't know, that's just do more questions, and then you get better at them, I think.
Fantastic. Okay, and moving along the line, I've got a whole team of fantastically clever people here who are now about to go into the A-levels. What are you going to be doing for the next few weeks until it kind of all really kicks off?
For the next few weeks, I guess I'll just be doing some more past papers. I'll go through my notes as well because I find that just doing past papers isn't that helpful when you don't know all the content. So I'm going to go through everything that I've done so far.
Fantastic. And moving along, how did you find the camp at Easter?
The camp was really interesting. I learned like a lot. I never thought that I would learn like so much in just 5 days. Because we basically covered like 8 topics or like more than 8 topics in just 5 days, which I felt like it was, if we learned it in school or like some other time, it would probably take at least 2 months.
Yeah.
So I think it was like really interesting and I really enjoyed it.
And it was the Astro camp that you were on?
Yeah, I was on the Astro camp.
Cool. And what are you going to do for the next couple of weeks now before your real exams?
The next couple of weeks I'll probably prepare a lot for my A-levels. Obviously because I haven't done that much A-level stuff like before the camp because I was kind of like, I didn't expect to get into the camp, but then after I got the email I was like very shocked. So then I decided to like dedicate my life into it.
Yeah.
So I woke up very early and did a lot of Olympiad practice for the camp. So now I'm going to catch up with my A-levels and hope for the best and do some past papers.
Good, well good luck. Okay, moving along, what is your plan of attack for the next couple of weeks?
Well, I need to do A-level revision because that's not too bad. I have there's only 3 exams before the half term, and it's maths and physics, which is more ideal than the chemistry ones after. So, past papers for that mostly, and looking at content. I think the main thing for A-levels is learning the mark schemes because some of the explanation questions are kind of dodgy.
Yeah.
So you just need to get used to what points they normally add. And then there's also, now I need to prepare for the BPhO. So I need to do some questions and learn the content that I don't know yet.
Congratulations, yeah. So when's the actual international competition?
So after A-levels, it's really busy. After we have A-levels, week after we have the next camp in Cambridge. So that lasts a week. And then we have the actual competition in Colombia. And then that lasts a week, I think. But only 2 days of those are exams. So that's going to be kind of fun, I think.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Fantastic. Okay, moving along the line here. How did it go at Easter?
It was great fun. I really felt at the bottom of my barrel and can I do this? It's really challenging, but for me, like the greatest thing was just being here with the atmosphere, the vibe of just solving problems with some great people and who are so interested in physics. And I just, it's great to be challenged by everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, and what's your plan to do really well this year, I guess? What's your revision plan?
I'm going through some really old questions, or semi-old questions, picking some random questions that look quite interesting, so mainly the explaining questions of like how does a nuclear reactor work or something like that, and then just having a go at those, which I know I'm weaker at, and then seeing if I can learn some mark schemes and have fun on the way and the process.
What's your plan for the next few weeks?
So many past papers. I'm going to go through and see how many, if not all of them, I can do. I've also nearly finished my notes, which I've done on the spec for most subjects.
Yeah.
Planning to finish that this week. And after that, I think I'll just keep going through, doing past papers, realise what I'm doing badly at, and keep doing more of those types of questions.
And which topics do you dislike or find more challenging? What are the ones you try to avoid doing?
Some specific ones in chemistry that are memorising, like transition metals or even just flame colours, even I often get wrong.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, I hope it all goes well. Okay. And how's it going?
It's going very well.
And why are you here today? What's actually happening?
So in October, we sat a paper called the BPhO Round 0. And then if you qualify for that, you go to the BPhO Round 1 in December, November, and then after that you sit the BPhO Round 2 for the top of the students, and you sit that in January, and then us lucky 14 got through to the camp in Oxford, where we sat more practicals and did more papers, and then finally I got selected for the camp, which was very nice.
Oh, fantastic, congratulations. And so you've got a pretty full on a couple of months ahead of you, do you?
Yep, A-levels and then preparation, balancing it.
Yeah, and how are you going to prepare for the Olympiad camp compared to just doing A-levels? How on earth do you get ready for that level of demand?
The thing you've got to realise about the Olympiads is that the content's not that bad. The thing which is bad is, well not bad, but challenging, is learning how to solve these problems. And I think what's really important to learn is, obviously physics problems are important to practice, but you need to solve problems in all walks of life. For example, me, I like doing philosophy a lot. I do religious studies at A-level. I found doing problems from them have helped me tremendously with my physics problems. So I think, specifically if you're trying to prepare for the camp, don't just do physics problems. Obviously they're important, but try and do problems in all shapes and sizes.
Fantastic. And finally, any advice for students who've got their exams coming up soon?
My friends have said do past papers. They still do the past papers, but like when you're marking them, make sure to note down what questions you're getting wrong, and if there's any patterns, try and focus on like fixing those patterns of mistakes.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, and I hope it all goes well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm in London today. I've got a special guest as well. We're at an Olympiad event. Zed Physics, can you explain why we're here?
So this is an award ceremony for all the students who have had amazing accomplishments throughout the years, and a lot of past students have also come back here to assist, and it's just a lovely atmosphere, and with the Royal Society with amazing history, it's great.
Yeah, so we've both done some interviews on our own channels where we've spoken to the students, but of course for a lot of people it's going to be exam time, the busiest time of the year. What advice would you have for people who are going to be sitting paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 over the coming weeks?
Every single paper 1 needs to be done, every single paper 2 needs to be done, ideally twice, and every single paper 3 needs to be done as well. But also, don't push yourself too hard, because mental health is also really, really important. So do take regular breaks, do go outside, but also try your absolute hardest, because if you can try your hardest, the outcome will be there. But yeah, enjoy, and remember to enjoy physics. It's really hard it's really easy to almost lose the enjoyment of the subject when you're cramming, but don't lose sight of that.
So we're representing MPL here today because it's a great event to be at, and it's lovely seeing future talent and nurturing it as well. We've been supporting this event for many, many years now, and it's just the next generation, isn't it? And what an enormous programme involving so many young people. Absolutely brilliant.
And if you're a student and would like to take part in this in the future, go and speak to your teachers. They're the ones who actually organise the entries, and then potentially you could be in London next year. in terms of the units that maybe students know about for A-level physics, it used to be there was le kilogram in France and there was that kind of physical thing. What are the kind of changes that have occurred over the last few years for the way that we actually define some
there was a
of these
big
units?
revolution in 2019 when the 7 SI-based units were kind of all overhauled. I think about 4 of them that the definitions physically changed. So the mole, we moved away from something to do with carbon-12, and the temperature now recognises the fact that it's a measurement of thermal energy, of random motions of particles.
Yeah.
So the 0 point, I guess it's always been 0 Kelvin, but the new definition is all about thermodynamic temperature, rather than just saying something odd happens to water at this particular point. And the kilogram, you mentioned the kilogram, that was overhauled completely. It used to be one piece of metal hosted just outside Paris. Now it's a method of weighing that effectively compares against Planck's constant. And that's the way that all of the units of measurement are now go. They're quantum-based, if you like. So we have a fundamental natural constant underpinning every measure and defining base unit.